Well, my friend Amy would say, talk to each other. But she's a little corny.
Sonic Prime just dropped its first 8 episodes in batch 1 of 3, and oh boy, this show is surprisingly good. There's a little bad in it that I'll talk about, no doubt, but this show does so much good that it really outweighs the bad. But still, this is the second best Sonic show in my opinion, and for pretty good reasons. The premise is simple but very effective. Eggman tries to extract and take the Paradox Prism, and Sonic, disregarding his friend's warnings,
Sonic, wait! Sonic, no!
smashes the Paradox Prism, creating these alternate timelines with everyone who is there. It's the classic team of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles versus Eggman, but with the very welcome addition of Rouge and Big, who do a lot to add diversity and personality here. And throughout this video, I'm probably going to be referring to their alternate versions, like Sails or Black Amy, yes, that's her name, as mostly just Tails and Amy to make it simpler. The only clear differentiation is Rusty Rose, who plays an antagonist in most of this. One thing I really liked is Knuckles here is not the dumb brain-dead Knuckles from Boom, but Tails still refers to him as a dumb echidna a few times early on.
No, catch up, Echidna. I'm one of the good guys.
He's with us now.
Duh.
Maybe in the next batch, Netflix will tackle Tails' very apparent and strong prejudice towards echidnas. Now, to fill the void of the dumb role is Big, and I think it's the most character and personality Big's ever had across any media. He's a Patrick Star type beat, and I think that works really well for him in this dynamic. The level-headed leader of their group is Rouge, as Tails is more the smart sidekick and definitely not the leader, letting Knuckles be his older, more moody and distant self. Then you add Sonic's charisma and character, as he's constantly dropping in and out of these different dynamics, like a Lego game with these different Shatterverses. The pacing of both the Cave and Pirate Shatterverses being 2 episodes is the perfect length to make it not feel too dragged out, but still have a build-up and payoff. The story itself is insanely good, and the plot is way more tied together than I thought it would be. I assumed it would be more casual and self-contained, as they made it very clear that at the end of the day, this is still going to be a goofy kids cartoon. However, the plot progresses really quickly, and it doesn't feel like there's any filler episodes where not much gets accomplished. The dialogue was really good, and it truly felt like these characters at all times. There were definitely moments that were corny.
In case of emergency, always use the stairs.
But almost all the previous cartoons were way cornier, so I let most of it slide. Although I am sad, the only thing we didn't see from the concept art is Sonic does not do any Fortnite dances. I know, F's in the comments. I also found some of the Dr. Deep moments to be pretty cringy. Though I think making his character cringy was partially the intention, as even Mr. Dr. Eggman, I hate saying that, makes fun of Dr. Deep for his cringiness.
Deep, grow up! And your dance moves stink.
Which, by the way, if you pause and zoom in, all of Dr. Deep's tattoos are chicken and egg related, which I thought was a neat little detail. His mech form is for some reason in a samurai outfit with a katana, and he's constantly going on about origami and stuff, so maybe this is like an Asian Eggman. Very epic. They never explain this, so I have no clue the reason. I mean, samurais are cool, so maybe that's just it. Also, Eggman is originally based on President Roosevelt, who's obviously an American. I know, fun fact. But it does seem a little random when Dr. Deep keeps referencing things like,
I'm going to origami that hedgehog!
and I'm going, did I miss something here? The Egg Council overall has a very fun dynamic, and while Orbot and Cubot are very briefly in this, and also voiced by Devin Mack, I think having this family reunion of Eggmen makes for a funnier dynamic than the same old one we're so used to. And frankly, it's so played out that even Frontiers replaced them. So they can take a break and come back, you know, once I miss them.
Bye-bye.
I had to look it up, but Dr. Dunnett, the Boomer Eggman, is also voiced by Ryan Drummond. I know it's Brian Drummond. I was just reading quickly and misspoke.
Stupid, Jaden, stupid!
And when I first heard it, I was so convinced this was Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob.
Anyway, I've been spending lots of time with your girlfriend.
And is in countless things you've seen and probably never knew were him. There's a handful of fun references in the show, such as Dr. Dont's game where you avoid the flowers as an egg pod. And it actually looks like a fun, simple mobile game. Netflix, you have a mobile game division for a reason. Get on this ASAP. Another one that I assume everyone's gonna like is the classic sprite section with Sonic and Knuckles in episode 7. It was a little eerie hearing these sprites talk with normal audio that wasn't bit crushed.
Does that count as a warning?
But other than that, I thought this was literally a perfect inclusion, and I really liked that they didn't overuse this and kept it surprising, short, and sweet. Just like MLP and a lot of Canadian productions, the cast for this show plays a lot of roles. And to be fair to the Tim Horton people, there's a major precedent of cartoons doing this for characters with smaller roles, and in here, I like the voice of literally everyone. The only one that was a little questionable was Shadow, but it still wasn't bad by any means, and is way improved from the Boom one. One thing that shocked me was how much I liked Brian Drummond's Eggman. Something that in my heart, I thought, okay, Jim Carrey's like his own thing, but for like animated Eggman, it could never not be Mike Pollock, at least in my modern eyes. Maybe like the old guy who's Gonzo, R.I.P. But Brian Drummond did a great job. Another one is Devin Mack absolutely nails Sonic here. I know it's a controversial opinion, but I think he fit the role perfect for this Sonic, and it's almost like a callback to the quippy and snarky Sonic and Friends dynamic of the early 2000s. Now, while there's a bunch of fun references and homages to older Sonic stuff, with there being little sound effects and such,
Ow! Spikes?
I was a little disappointed that this multiverse aspect wasn't really used to bring any legacy voice actors for a cameo, or really anything nostalgia or fanbaity for that matter. Which I know they don't have to do, but I mean, come on, it'd be cool. And I know the main cast for this does have to be Canadian, but they are able to do a handful of outside cameo roles, and my hope is this will happen, as the only arc they introduced and cliffhung on was Shadow fighting Sonic in the Shadowverse, so a lot is ahead that we don't know about, and I'm still hoping we can see the Freedom Fighters. Even though I'm not personally a fan of either the old cartoons or Archie, some would say I despise the Archie comics. However, I think this is a perfect opportunity with all the rights being in order, and the luck of coincidences that led us to this point may never happen again. So I'd love to see this part of Sonic's past brought to this newer, modern format. With the way these Shadowverses are being paced into 2-episode arcs, with the exception of New York City being the main hub for the story, this format makes perfect sense for a cameo role from anyone from Jaleel, Roger, Jason, Ryan, and just those 2 episodes would totally satisfy fans without dragging it out too much and being like, okay, I get it. We're still yet to see another Sonic in any of these worlds, so this is something they might be saving up their sleeves for the final of the 3 batches, and it would literally be the most epic finale to any Sonic media ever. While there's generations and yes, forces, there's never been a true No Way Home styled multiverse team up, and that's something all us Bugmen soy boys would scream at our phones and computer monitors at. Oh, babe, you don't get it. Those are like the old Sonic voice actors. You wouldn't get it. I almost forgot to talk about it, but one of the most important parts of this show is the look of it. I was worried by seeing the Green Hill footage that it'd be too plasticky and kiddie, but somehow they nailed it. I knew the virtual camera and angles were going to be amazing, but visually, there's never been something like this for Sonic. I hope this series does so well that it not only gets another season, but eventually gets a Netflix movie. That would be like the king of W's. And that is something they do for their bigger view pullers. So guys, watch Sonic Prime over and over and over again. The glitchy RGB separation of the shatter crystals was something super neat, and it matches all the glowing objects and light effects in this, making these environments look incredibly nice. One thing a lot of people don't like is all the flashbacks, and I kinda get this. I thought it was an interesting way to show all these other perspectives and different contexts to these events, and most importantly, I like that they kept them really short. I'd rather they have them than didn't, and while it is sort of holding your hand and going, hey, remember this from 2 episodes ago? You gotta keep in mind, this isn't intended to be watched in one sitting, something anyone who watched it all on the first day obviously did. I mean, me included. I'm so glad they decided to find a hybrid between weekly releases and dropping them all at once. And while, yeah, I guess the 3 batches is not ideal, weekly would still be better, I am happy for the compromise. That's right, baby, now it's 3 videos I'm gonna make. Wow, that's 300% the content you'd get otherwise. So, with all that said, I clearly love this show, but it's still the 2nd best Sonic show. And you know why? Because I'm the first That's right, they thought they were slick. They thought they would appease me by fulfilling my request to put raccoons in Sonic Prime. Well, they put tanukis, the Japanese raccoons, which aren't even related to real raccoons. That's just their Japanese translation. So yeah, once they put a real raccoon in Sonic Prime and it either is me or sounds like me, that's when they'll become the best Sonic show. But until then, don't even try stepping up to the plate, kiddo. I couldn't use too many graphics because my other videos got copyright claimed, which I'm okay with that. But my last one got copyright blocked, meaning you can't watch it, and it like hurt me in the robots rankings, so I had to use screenshots in super short clips. I know, it's a bummer, I'm sorry. Super ultra produced Frontiers video coming really soon, and once you see it, you'll immediately understand why it's been taking so long. Lots of love, double check your subs so you don't miss out, like if you liked, and peace. Peace!